Hello and welcome back. This is the Clay Golem. This is Foundry V13 version 13. And in this video, we're going to be looking at some of the new features that have dropped as part of the D&D game engine. So this is only relevant to Dungeons & Dragons. It's only relevant for the game engine 5.1 and above on version 13. Okay, so if you haven't made that transition yet, one, I don't blame you, but you're safety first, but you're not going to have access to this yet. But this is something that you can do with it. Now, I've got it up there. So we're currently on 5.1.1 of that game engine, and we have built into Foundry and more importantly the D&D game engine difficult terrain. Now, we've previously looked at videos of how to do this and different mods and things that we can use to use difficult terrain, and it's not been brilliant. Now we've got it just beautiful. So I have my druid here, okay, and I can move my druid around anywhere I like on the map by dragging. Now we've got built in effectively drag ruler, okay, so I can drag over this distance. Now what you will notice is that this druid can move up to 35 feet. If I try to move beyond 35 feet, note that the line has gone yellow. So we've got green line, it goes yellow, and if I continue to do that. So what that is doing is that is basically saying if I land in the green, that's my normal movement. So anything up to 35 is normal movement. If I try to go beyond that, then I'm into dashing. So I can dash, and actually if I zoom out a bit, if I try and dash all the way over there, you'll notice it goes red. So I'm beyond the speed of my, or rather beyond my movement capability. So that's the first thing. This is now built in as core, as part of it. It's beautiful, makes life much, much easier. Now, before you kind of go, hang on a minute, that's calculations wrong. This character does have a walk speed of 35, okay? So if you're kind of going, hang on a minute, it's allowing you to go too far. Actually, that is my walk speed. I can do up to 35. There we go, and we can do that. And of course, I can still do the holding control to put in the waypoints, and it will allow me to dash all over the place up to my movement. It will allow me to break the rules and go too far, but it does give that warning so that you know that you're actually going further than you should. But this is about difficult terrain, right? Okay, we have established I can move 35 feet with this character. What happens if I want to cross this stream? So we're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. I'm now into my dash. So each of these is 5 foot. 5, 10, 15, 20. Then it jumps to 30. That's twice as far for that square. Twice as far for that square as well. That's difficult terrain rules. Ooh, yeah. And this is what we've been after for a while. So how does that work? It's all connected with regions now. So if I go to my region, you can see that I've drawn a region here that I've called a difficult terrain, this blue one following that stream. So I'm not going to go into doing regions specifically because we've done that many, many times. I've just drawn that region in there. And under the behavior, we now have amongst those behaviors are called difficult terrain. So that's what I've got. I've called it difficult terrain. And more importantly, there's other things you can do rather than just say difficult terrain. It could be a terrain covered by a magical effect. So if you've got creatures that are not affected by a magical effect, you kind of want to know that it's magical. You can set this as what is the reason? It's deep snow, it's plants and undergrowth, is it rubble and rocks, is it shallow liquid? In this instance, that's what I've got from my stream. Slippery ice, steep slope. That will become evident and important in a moment of setting the most appropriate reason for it being that. Notice that you can ignore dispositions. So you can say, well, hostile creatures aren't affected by it. I can't, off the top of my head, think of a reason why I would need to use that, because it should be fair for everybody. If the players are affected, monsters should be affected too, not just based on the fact that, oh, you're an enemy, so you get special rules. There are other ways to deal with that. So that's how that works. Because it's difficult terrain, automatically costs twice as much to move across it. Now the other thing, and you may have seen this kind of already, is because I'm in version 13 with the 2024 rules, if I try to move through this goblin, even though I've got enough movement to do it, it won't allow me to, because enemy tokens block path. So we get the dotted line to show that. So I might have to go around it, and again I can use my control to do that. We're going to go there, we're going to go there, and go around it using extra movement to do so. I can't go straight through that token. So that's really nice that that's all built in as part of that. Now, in case you're kind of wondering, going, oh yeah, but hang on a minute, what mods are you using? The only mods I've got in here is the DMG, the PHP, the Monster Manual, and I've got my Fandelver campaign that we're building in the live stream, just because I'm using the scene from that. So that's really, really nifty. What else can we do with this? So more things. So we got a walk speed of 35. But we can set those other the other speeds and things as well. So if I just come in and edit this, I've also given this particular character a fly speed of 20. Okay, because lots of characters and or things have different fly speeds. Now, by having that set, if I right click on my token, we've got this select movement actions now. So we can now say, actually, this character is flying. It's going to use that fly speed that was only, what was it, 20? Did I say it was 20, 25, whatever it was? So it's going to do exactly the same of that movement calculation using that new fly speed. Yeah, it was 20. So I can move here, but I can't move here without using my dash because that's 22.5 feet. If I want to go over the rough terrain, now interestingly, so we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. I'm flying over this terrain. It is still affecting me, which is a little bit weird considering I'm flying over it. So just be aware of that. But there's other things we can do as well. Let's didn't mean to double right click. If I double left click, open the character sheet, and I can go back into edit those movements. Note that there are things we can do to ignore difficult terrain for this token as well. So we can say ignore all types of terrain, ignore magical, non-magical, we can ignore plants and growth. I happen to be using a druid character. If they are no longer hindered by plants and growth, I'm going to say this druid is no longer hindered by plants and growth. I'm actually going to add on to that shallow liquid, which is what we're using in this example with that little stream. So now, with a walk speed of 35, plants and undergrowth and shallow liquids should not impede the movement of this druid. So let's set my walk speed back to set my speed back to walking, my travel thingy, you know, you know what I mean. So we should be back to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're back to our normal moving distance, even though we're crossing that difficult terrain, because this token ignores it. So that's really, really good that we can do that. Now, why is that particularly useful? Because we have this setting, being able to tag the type of movement, but also being able to set things on the character, such as ignoring different types of terrain and stuff, because these essentially, they're flags. You say, oh, there's a flag that says ignore shallow liquids. There's a flag that says ignore plants and undergrowth. That means when we create items, and I'm not doing it in this video because I've not actually played with it properly, but now we have a flag for it. Oh, you've put on those boots, have you? Those magical boots that allow you to move freely on ice. It will set that flag for you. So while your character's got those equipped, it will automatically update the character to say that you're not hindered by difficult terrain that is classified as slippery ice. And maybe those boots also, you're not hindered in deep snow. Pretty darn neat now that we've got these little functions and things like that. Now, my main game that I'm playing at the moment with my party, Curse of Strahd, for my main players, is still on version 12, and it will stay on version 12 because I'm not going to make the change and just throw all of everything we've done out into chaos, basically. The characters are 2014 characters. If I move to version 13 onto this D&D engine, then I have to kind of transfer everything over. It's going to be a nightmare, so I'm not doing it. And this is specifically about the 2024 rules with things like the creatures blocking movement. So I'm not going to move that. However, of course, we are building Phandelver and below, and we're building that in version 13. So in the live stream, which will be later today, actually, I can go back and make any changes and put in difficult terrain that is going to work for those players straight away, and communicate much better to them how far they can move, which is really, really useful. And again, that campaign is being built for brand new players, so it's much better way of them understanding the rules around movement, because they can see it rather than having to explain to them, going, oh, hang on a minute, that's going to take you longer to cross the river, let's do the maths and calculate how far you can actually get. The ruler will just tell them, oh, you can't go that far. You can go there, or you can go, no, you can't go there through the goblin, you'll have to go there. You're going to end up in the water. Oh, I don't want to end up in the water. All right, I'll stay on this side. Whatever it might be. Just makes it a lot easier. So really short little video, this one. And there's plenty of more little bits and bobs that have come with this update to the D&D engine. It has fixed some bugs and things like that. I actually have it over here with the write-up of it. I'm not going to go through everything. But this is the release for it. It talks about updates to the groups and encounters from a character's point of view. They've essentially overhauled these and made them a bit better. So that's all very nice. And again, encounters, again, just a bit of an update there. They've updated some of the rest functions. So when performing a rest from the group sheet, you can now send a request to the players to click their rest buttons, etc. Or you can do it automatically. It's up to you how you want to do that. We can also do things like advantage automation. So notice that this is around, so they've got the example here of the skill athletics. Let's actually show you that and open up the druid and have a look. So again, if I go to configure, and for whatever reason, let's pick nature. That makes sense for a druid. I'm going to pick nature. For whatever reason, if I want to, I can change not only the ability modifier, but I can change some of these things, like for nature rolls. Do they always have disadvantage? Do they always have advantage? So where you've got skills or feats or items, whatever it might be, that grant advantage to a skill, we now have a much easier flag to be able to set for that. And that will that's accessible through the character sheet. We don't need to do sneaky things in the background for it, which is really, really good. That's really positive. And for the DM, you can just come in and go, do you know what? You put those boots on. haven't made the item all automated and everything else. I'm not using MIDI QOL. I can just kind of go, right, that you now have advantage on all of your nature checks, whatever that might be. I don't know. You swallowed you swallowed a book on gardening. Whatever the reason is, you can now set that per skill, which is great. Maybe one of your characters got, something physical damage that was done to them that you've decided gives them a permanent advantage on intimidation checks. You can just set it now. It's like, job done. You might kind of also go the opposite way and go, look, I'm going to give you advantage on that because of this situation, but you're going to get disadvantage on this because of that situation. However you want to work it, you now have the tools. So that's a pretty cool thing that we can do. And we can do, I know we could do that before, but now we can do it through the UI much, much cleaner. Movement automation, we just talked about that, about setting your fly and stuff. We talked about being blocked by tokens depending which version of the rules, and we talked about rough terrain as well, which is really, really good. And of course they've got a few bits that, because of these updates and some of the changes that they've made, it breaks a few things in the background. So there's just a few like, oh, this is what you might need to do if we've broken it for you. But those are the main headline ones. And I think the most useful is difficult terrain is now basically core within the game. On version 13 with the D&D game engine 5.1 or above. Just put that in there. So fantastic. Get building, get playing, set out your difficult terrain. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to add different types of difficult terrain. If somebody's going to want lava and all sorts of different things, I'm sure that list will get expanded, if not part of the core rules, through mods and things like that. I'm sure that will happen at some point. But go, play, have fun. I think this is amazing. It's a really, really good improvement to the player's experience. Makes the DM's job much easier to remember things like difficult terrain and what's where and why, and the players being able to get around it. I need to play a bit more with that whole fly thing. If I'm flying over that stream, that shouldn't be difficult terrain. So I'm going to do a bit more of investigation into that, see if I can figure out how that how we can sort that and get around that. There should be a flag. Flying, ignore difficult terrain. That's simple. Anyway, enough babbling. Thank you for watching. Do appreciate it. Leave a comment, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please do so, because it really, really does help out the channel. And I will see you, well, for some of you, I will see you later this afternoon for the live stream. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.